This is part two of chapter one in the book Divine Guidance is the name of the chapter, and it's from the book This Is It by Dr. Murphy. Continuing, he says, for example, you may be writing a book and require special data. Perhaps that data was written around 1000 BC. This information may be in the British Museum or in the New York Public Library. It might take you days or weeks to find it. If you do not know specifically what you want, in such instances, relax, be still, and say silently and quietly to your Father, which is your subconscious mind, Thou knowest all things. Give me this information. Drop off to sleep with one word, answer. That's the word. And he writes this in quotation marks, answer, answer, answer. In that relaxed mode, you repeat the word, answer, answer, answer. So you relax and repeat the word answer, answer, answer. He goes on to say, your subjective mind is all wise, knows what type of answer you desire, and will answer in a dream, as a hunch, or feeling that you are being led on the right track. You may get a sudden flash to go someplace. A person may give you the answer. The text he quotes says, I have ways that you know not of. He goes on to say, many are led to an old bookstore where they pick up the very book that gives them the desired data. We must be ever watchful for impressions as divine guidance. For when a feeling or idea comes to us, we must be able to recognize it. There are two reasons why we may not acknowledge our hunches, he says. These reasons are attention and failure to recognize them. If we are in a negative, despondent, bitter mood, divine guidance is impossible. As a matter of fact, only negative guidance will prevail. If we are in a happy, confident, joyous mood, we will recognize the flashes of intuition that come to us. Moreover, we will feel under subjective compulsion to carry them out. It is necessary, therefore, to be still and relax when you pray for guidance, for nothing can be achieved by tenseness or fear or apprehension. Who has not had the experience of being unable to remember a name, then dropping the search? Have the name come to him or her later during repose. If you try too hard to hear a telephone ring, you cannot. Let us consider the failure to recognize the voice of intuition. For example, suppose we're gazing idly into a store window. An eccentric millionaire puts a $500 bill in your hand. We throw it away thinking it is an advertisement for a dance hall or a beauty parlor. You just think it's an advertisement. We must be on the alert for divine ideas or feelings that come to us and be able to recognize them. In emergencies, guidance comes immediately because we lean all our weight on the Christ within. Thus we place all our burden on him and are free. Then comes salvation. Then comes the saving. The answer to everything is within. You would not have sought me. You would not have sought me, the text says, had you not already found me. The answer is within. For business and professional people, the cultivation of the intuitive faculty is of paramount importance. Intuition offers instantaneously that which the intellect or reasoning mind of a person could accomplish only after weeks or months of monumental trial and error. When our reasoning faculties fail us in our perplexities, the intuitive faculty sings a silent song of triumph. The conscious mind of man is reasoning, analytical, and inquisitive. The subjective faculty of intuition is always spontaneous. It comes as a beacon to the conscious intellect. Many times, it speaks as a warning against a proposed trip or plan of action. We must listen and learn to heed the voice of wisdom. It does not always speak to you when you wish it to do so, but only when you need it. If we will only believe and not pretend to believe that God is guiding us now in all our ways, in all our thoughts, in all our words, in all our deeds, we shall be led along the right road. You remember that song we used to sing? That word we used to say, it may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. That's what's being talked about here. Artists, poets, writers, and inventors listen to this voice of intuition. As a result, they are able to astonish the world by the beauties and glories drawn from the storehouse of knowledge within themselves. And we marvel at what happens with them, whether it's an artist who is drawing, an artist with the music, an artist who is playing in a particular role, we marvel. We must understand also when it comes to this, because these individuals so many times, whether they're on the courts or the fields or whatever it may be, they're reaching so deep within, and we don't know exactly how they do what they do. And many times we don't really care how they do it. We don't want to know the inside of the outside that we see. Let me say that again. We don't want to know the inside of the outside that we see. And so here's an invitation to go to the inside of the individual, to become the artist, the poet, the writers, the inventors, the producers, the superheroes in real life. So here's the technique. Become still, relax, close your eyes and say, Father, thou knowest all things. This is an example of a writer. I'm writing a novel. Give me the characters. Give me their names, their locations, their settings. Give me the plot. And then rejoice that the answer is flowing through you now. And drop off to sleep with the word novel on your lips, silently repeating it until you are lost in the deep of sleep. Repeating the word novel, 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 till it is etched in the subconscious. In the morning, or a few days later, you will sit down to write the words. The words will flow. Ideas will come in an unending stream, and you will say, thank you, Father. As a matter of fact, just begin to say thank you, Father, the next morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The word intuition also means inner hearing. The oldest definition of revelation meant that which is heard. Jesus said, as I hear, I judge. Hearing is not only the way to nurture intuition, it's not the only way to nurture intuition. Sometimes it comes as a thought, but the most common way is to hear the voice. We actually do a course called How to Hear the Voice of God. How to hear the voice of God. How to hear it. Again, I invite you to send us an email at Dr. D.L. Waters Sr. at drdlwaterssr.com. You can also email us at info@iwillrestore.com. These are all websites that we have and want to really be able to bring about growth in the individual. And as I shared before, it took me many years to discover that there was a technique, a formula, a process that one could go through to find an individual such as Dr. Joseph Murphy, such as an individual named Neville Goddard, so that I could take these steps over and over and over again. And at this particular point, Spirit has just inspired me to share this with you via this particular method of recording this material and sharing it with you. You may be my next door neighbor, but you may also be someone that lives in another city, or state, or country around the world. And you may not have access to the material via a book, whether it's a hardback book, softback book, PDF, whatever. But I guarantee you, based on what Dr. Murphy is saying, based on how he is taking it out of the Bible and actually bringing it into a form that is written, the principles here, the laws that he is talking about, the use of the imagination, the rules that he is laying down. These are laws that work, the principles that work, they will work for you. And so he gives techniques, he gives tools, and they are throughout the book. And then he has the testimonials. And I've got a few experiences in life with all of this as well, a number of them, where I've seen them worked out. I found Dr. Murphy after I had really gone through a number of experiences in life. People whom I had prayed for and seen get well. My own experience, as I said, in the business community, going to school, getting a job after I went to school, all of these things, when it comes to the acquiring of things, I've seen this take place, change my entire life and the lives of so many around me. So I know that this works. I know it can work on any level. So let me continue with to the end of this particular chapter. Let me repeat again. The word intuition also means hearing, inner hearing. The oldest definition for revelation meant that which is heard. Jesus said, "As I hear, I judge." Hearing is not the only way to nurture intuition. Sometimes it comes as a thought, but the most common way is to hear the voice. Many times it is a voice whose texture, color, and substance you can hear as plainly as the voice over the radio. The scientist uses his wonderful gift of imagination, and in the silence, he sees fulfillment. His intuition relates to his particular science. So it's in a language that you understand. The scientist in his particular field understands when he or she has the answer. Intuition goes much farther than reason. You discard reason, then comes intuition. You employ reason to carry out intuition. When you receive intuition, you will often find that it is opposite to what your reasoning would have told you. Like Einstein, again, riding a light wave was something that reason would have initially told him it was not possible to do. A lot of things that people initially thought could not be done, but when they imagined it, they found it was possible to do. And for that reason, we have an entire course also on the use of the imagination. I mean, all of these are tools. All of these are tools that you use to build, if you will, the life that you want, the house, which we call the life that you want. And you can, again, send us an email Dr. Waters Sr. at drdlwaterssenior.com, and we can send you information on how to get the tools. Enact these things as you hear them. It's beneficial in and of itself. Finally, this is how one young lady in the advertising business produces her wonderful slogans. She drops off to sleep with the word slogan on her lips, knowing that the answer will be forthcoming. It always is. He never failed it. And so Dr. Murphy, in this first chapter of the book called This Is It, talks about how to get divine guidance. How do you get it? He mentions the aspect of having a challenge which you want an answer to, and that you, prior to going to sleep, that you can pose a question, let's call it that, and saying to spirit within, your subconscious mind, your subjective mind, your imagination, that I need an answer to this particular challenge. And you're asking for like a partner, which spirit is, to supply you with that answer. And spirit will supply you with the answer, and you are affirming as you go to sleep that that answer is already within you, that you're going to receive it and recognize it. Spirit is doing that for you now. Blessings. Take care. This is Dr. Dennis L. Waters Sr. I know you're well on every level. Blessings. Take care.